Well, a new motion has been filed in the case of a Charlotte man against CMPD and owners at Optimist Hall. Benjamin Bowman claims that both parties discriminated against him for using a service animal and violating the American Disabilities Act.
He now says CMPD has failed to comply with a court order to release body cam video and 911 recordings connected to his case. Joining us this morning, all right, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes is back with us. So here we go. Should they be able to provide that footage? Where are we with this motion?
Well, I'll tell you, like my judge that I clerked for out of law school said, that judges only speak through their orders. They may say a lot on the bench, but if it's not written down in an order, it doesn't matter. And so if he has a valid order, and he says in here that there was an order issued on January 14th at a hearing, and the judge issued an order that CMPD is supposed to release body cam footage and 911 tape, then my question would be the same thing he's asking. Why don't I have the footage? Why don't I have what I was ordered by the court to get? And so that is what he's laying out in here. And this is a pro se person, so I must say this. We've covered this before in the past. That means this is a person that's not represented by an attorney. He's representing himself. There are a number of things in here, what he lists, that support his allegations. CMPD came back and said we didn't even receive notice of the hearing. He has in here the emails, video evidence of him delivering notice to the court. I mean, to the CMPD office. Right. So a lot of the things that would counter their argument, he's laid it out in here extremely well. Oftentimes, you don't see a pro se person doing this level of detail in their complaint. While I do think he still could have assistance of an attorney to make sure that it's refined, that it has all the things that you would want in a complaint or a motion to compel or a motion to hold someone in contempt, I do think he has listed to support a number of things that he's alleging in here. I read over this a couple of times, and I can follow his argument. I can follow his track, and oftentimes you can't do that in a pro se litigant's complaint.
So, Khalif, one of the things he's asking for is that there be a monetary sanction against CMPD to deter them from doing this in the future, not providing this stuff. He's also asking for all the evidence that he's requested. How do you see a judge ruling on that?
I think a judge would say, listen, the judge would say, did you guys turn it over? That's the first thing a judge would say. And when I've been in these type of situations, did you give them what they requested? Did you give them what I've ordered you to do? And either CMPD can say, yes, we have, or no, we're still in the process. And if it's no, we're still in the process, rest assured that the judge would be frustrated, unless this is something that's hard to get to. And it could be. This happened in 2022. You're talking about 3 years ago that he requested this original information and has been fighting and attempting to get that based on his complaint all the way up into this year right here, 2025. Right. And so if they're saying it's going to take us time to get to you, that's different. His complaint is saying no. They're saying that we don't have to respond, or we didn't receive proper notice to be able to respond. And if that's the things that happen, then the judge will hold them accountable. And he's saying, listen, I don't want a slap on the wrist. He said this. This has the stench or the error of something that's not just a one-off. He's listed that in his complaint. He's making the argument that, Your Honor, show them by not slapping on the wrist that this is something that everyday citizens should be able to file a complaint and to be able to get what they're asking for.
We are out of time, but I want to sneak this in real fast. Do you think this case, no matter how it goes, is going to be a wake-up call to other businesses on being aware of what the American for Disabilities Act, what you can or can't do with a service animal, so that everyone's on the same page about what's expected? I
think it should be a wake-up call, because if you look at, even if you get past his complaint, the underlining thing that is there is that this was a violation of his rights. And he's saying that if you guys knew the rules, then you would not have violated my rights, specifically asking me to provide documentation and paperwork to prove that I had a disability. So yes, to your point, I think even us talking about it brings awareness and allows folks to know that I can't add this extra hurdle that the government doesn't require that I do to make accommodations for folks.
It's going to be interesting to see if CMPD, what they say back to the judge, something we're going to stay on top of. Khalif, thank you.